What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today, because you got the video above 50 likes in the first 24 hours, I'm going to bring you a dedicated combo guide for Gem Knights. Now, all of the combos I'm going to show you are free one-card combos with different starters. So you've got Dispersion, Nephraim, and Armadillo, which is why it is so incredibly consistent. All of the combos will lead you to an OTK, as that is what you want to be doing with the deck. However, that being said, if you wanted to adapt them to be a little bit more defensive because you have chosen to go first or you've been forced to go first, you can do that as well. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. The first one we're going to start off with will be our Nephraim. So we're going to start off by normal summon in the Nephraim. This can be interacted with, which will make it a little bit awkward, but remember you've got 4 more cards in your hand, and if you hard open up access to Gem Knight Holocore, you're still going to be able to make this play work exactly fine, and then you do have other cards you can still open up with, so it's not the end of the line. So Nephraim is going to grab you your Holocore. You're going to be able to summon down the Holocore by sending Gem Knight Fusion from deck to the grave, and this is going to allow us to play around Nibiru as well. So we're going to link both of these together to go into our Gem Knight Phantom Quartz. We're going to use Quartz's effect to grab us our Gem Knight Dispersion, because at this exact moment in time, we now have Gem Knight Fusion in the grave, so that we can basically branded fuse from the deck. So we're going to use the first effect to fuse from our deck, send in our Nephraim and our Quartz, which is our Gem Knight monster and our Light monster, to get us access to our Gem Knight Seraphonite. Now, at this exact point here, we are protected from Nib because we now control a Gem Knight Fusion monster, and we have the Holocore in the graveyard. We're going to be able to utilize the effect of the Quartz to allow us to add the Nephraim from the grave back to the hand. And then if we want to, you can utilize the Gem Knight Fusion's effect to banish the Quartz. You can leave it in there, but you're still going to have your free Gem Knight cast to banish if you do need to play under Nib, so it's not the end of the world. We're then going to get our additional normal summon off the back of the Seraphonite for our Nephraim, and then we're going to be able to activate the Gem Knight Fusion our Nephraim plus the Gem Knight Seraphonite to be able to get us into our Gem Knight Lady Rose Diamond, which is a Gem Knight monster plus a fairy. So you're pretty much covered in everything you need to there. You're now going to be able to utilize the ability to get back the Gem Knight Fusion again, because old card text, not hard once per turn. Let's go. So we'll banish the Nephraim, again, maintaining that you control a Gem Knight Fusion monster, and then you've got 3 gems in the graveyard, so you're still in a very good position. Now at this point is when we can utilize our Phantom Quartz effect to pay 1,000 life points to fusion summon a Gem Knight Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling fusion materials in your possession. There's a big difference between you control and in your possession, because possession is pretty much everywhere. Listed on it into the deck that are banished or in the graveyard, but it can't attack directly, which is great because we now have 2 gems banished, so we're going to be able to recycle those. And again, like we've said in the grave, we can afford to put one of these in our graveyard back into the deck, bar the Holocore, and still be protected from Nibiru. So we're going to use the Nephraim and the Quartz are going to go back into the deck, and then you can get rid of either the other Nephraim or recycle that, or recycle your Gem Knight Seraphonite. It's not going to make a huge difference on which one you choose. So let's just go for the Seraphonite for now. And this is then going to get us our Gem Knight Master Diamond Dispersion, which is just absolutely crazy in this deck, because this card is now going to be able to do thus. So during the main phase, quick effect, you send this card from the field to the grave to special summon up to 3 non-rock gem monsters. But for the rest of the turn, you can't special from the extra deck except fusion monsters, which is absolutely fine. And then when your Gem Knight Fusion monster is destroyed by battle, while this card is in the graveyard, you special summon this card. So I'm going to tribute that straight off, and we're going to go for Topaz, Ruby, and Aquamarine. So these are going to be our most aggressive cards, and what I mean by that is Topaz is going to give your Master Diamond the ability to attack twice. Ruby gets the ability to do piercing damage as well, which is absolutely fine, and then also contribute another face-up gem to gain attack. It's a shame that's not a quick effect, because that would have been insane, but it does make this a little bit stronger to be able to deal with certain attacks. And then the Aquamarine is if it's sent to the graveyard from the field, you get to target a card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. Keeping in mind, if your opponent has activated anything, you can banish a Gem Knight card from the grave, specifically a monster effect, sorry. Banish a Gem Knight card from the grave, and then target a face-up card your opponent controls and destroys it. Now, obviously, you want to be a little bit careful because we still have 3, and if you were to banish any of these, utilizing the effect of your Lady Rose Diamond, you're then within Nibiru territory. But keep that in mind, that's where you're kind of playing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the Gem Knight Fusion again for the final time. This is going to allow us to utilize 3 Gem Knight monsters. So you've got your Gem Knight Aquamarine, your Gem Knight Phantom Quartz, and your Gem Knight Topaz. You could use Ruby sometimes, but these are going to be your best ones to use because you want Topaz in the grave, you want Aquamarine in the grave as well. Really, really important. So now we've got the Gem Knight Master Diamond, which currently gains 100 attack for each gem monster in your graveyard. And then once per turn, you get to banish a level 7 or lower gem fusion monster from your graveyard until the end phase. This card's name and original effect become the same as that. So at the moment, it's gaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We are only going to make it gain 5 to put it up to 34 because you do want to banish the Topaz to increase its ability, or basically copy Topaz's effect. And Topaz's effect is that it gets the ability to attack twice during each battle phase, and if it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. So what we're going to be able to do here is Gem Knight Master Diamond is going to attack, and that's going to go in for 34, destroying the monster and then burning the damage. Attack again, 34. Again, if you destroy a monster, you burn the damage. And then you've got a 25 coming in here, and then you've got a 27 coming in here. So all you need to do, if I do the maths correctly, is, so that's 52. You only need to do 2,800 damage, whether that be from an attack from Master Diamond or through a burn through Master Diamond's additional effect. That's kind of where you're going to get the best from it. So that's it for combo number 1, coming off the back of the Nephraim. Now let's move into combo number 2, starting off with your other best starter, being the Armadillo. Combo number 2 involving Gem Armadillo, and then this is probably like your better starter of all of them, because you're pretty much going to do relatively the same play, but you're going to add a little bit more to the graveyard and gain a little bit more advantage. So you start off by normal summoning down the Armadillo. This is going to grab you the Holocore. Holocore, again, going to summon itself down, sending Gem Knight Fusion. Link these both together and go into your Quartz. Quartz effect to grab you the Dispersion. Activate the Dispersion, sending from deck to grave your Quartz and your Nephraim. This will then instantly allow you to fuse into your Seraphonite. Using the Quartz effect, this is going to allow you to add the Nephraim from the graveyard back to the hand. And this is where you're going to be able to get so much more advantage, because it's kind of impressive how much this deck can now do. So additional normal summon off the back of the Seraphonite will grab you the Nephraim. Nephraim normal summon, because we didn't start with it this time, is going to grab you your Gem Knight Dispersion. Now remember, the Gem Knight Dispersion, you can only use each effect once per turn, so it can activate the second effect to add a Gem Knight monster from the deck or banish to a hand, and then any effect damage your opponent takes during the main phase this turn is halved. So we're going to grab ourselves the second Armadillo. We'll then use the Nephraim's effect. This is going to give us the additional normal summon again for the Armadillo to use this effect to grab you your Gem Knight Quartz. Now remember, as we've been playing through this, we are still well protected from the Biru, and we're just adding more gem cards to the grave. So it means that our Lady Diamond play is going to be even more protected. We're now going to utilize the Gem Knight Fusion to add this back to the hand by banishing the Quartz. We now have the ability to activate the Gem Knight Fusion. Of course, if your opponent controls a monster, you get to discard this card to set a fusion continuous spell, which will give you direct access to a Scatter Fusion or a Gem Knight Fusion, should you want to. We're just going to activate the Gem Knight Fusion now, and this is going to allow us to utilize a Gem Knight and a Fairy, being your Quartz plus your Nephraim. And this is going to get us into our Lady Rose Diamond, which is going to be like an additional line, or an additional play, which is absolutely fine. Then we're going to be able to do here again is we're going to banish a Nephraim from the graveyard. Oh, there we go. And grab us back a Gem Knight Fusion. So we're still basically looping this advantage, which is absolutely insane. And then what you want to be doing more times than not is when you're trying to utilize the Phantom Quartz effect, you want to make sure you're utilizing your banish and your grave, because you don't really want to use Gem Knight Fusion to use the field, as that's when you're going to get the most out of the back of your Gem Knight Master Diamond Dispersion. So using the effect of Quartz, you put back Nephraim, Quartz, and then you can recycle your Armadillo back into the deck. Again, still maintaining 3 Gem Knights in the graveyard, so you're protected should you need to. And the benefit of something like that is going to get you your Gem Knight Master Diamond. Now what you have the ability for is you can have the ability to activate your Gem Knight Fusion again. And now you could use your Lady Rose Diamond if you want to, because you need 3 Gem Knights, plus your Phantom Quartz, plus your Seraphonite. And that will just give you a more aggressive Gem Knight Lady Brilliant Diamond. And in doing so, what you're trying to ideally aim for here is you're trying to clear up space so that when you tribute off your Gem Knight Master Diamond, you are getting as much advantage as possible. Unfortunately, the Armadillo is going to hang around for right about now, for the pure fact that he's a gem monster, not a Gem Knight monster, but it's absolutely fine. We're then going to use the Diamond Dispersion, tributing this off to grab us out a Topaz, an Aquamarine. You can go for Ruby, but for this example, I'm just going to go for the Prismora. So the difference with the Prismora is that once per turn, you send a Gem Knight card from your hand to the grave to then target a face-up card on the field and destroy that target. So it's just another option. The gem is a bit more aggressive, but this can obviously let you send cards to then clear some cards off. Now what you also have is you have the brilliant Lady Brilliant Diamonds effect that once per turn you can send a face-up Gem Knight monster you control to the grave, and if you do, special summon a Gem Knight fusion from the extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Now the one you're always going to want to send is going to be your Topaz, because you're going to want to work your way into your Gem Knight Master Diamond. So I'm just going to bring these all down here. Now that we're in the Master Diamond, the reason for that is because your Topaz is going to give you the ability for this to basically copy the Topaz to attack twice and burn twice. So you're going to make sure you're banishing that in order to grant that effect. And as this currently stands, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're currently up to 35 on our Gem Knight Master Diamond. And we just have a bit more of a overall field presence. So rather than in the previous one where we put pretty much everything into the Master Diamond, this one now kind of spreads it a little bit more, which means that the Master Diamond can be used to clear off any strong monsters. And then you've got your Gem Knight Lady Brilliant, you've got your Armadillo, and then of course you've got your Aquamarine and your Prismora to kind of finish the duel off at that point as well. Okay, so now let's move on to combo number 3, which is just showing you like the crazy consistency of the deck. And combo number 3 is going to be utilizing Gem Knight Dispersion. Final combo, all roads lead to OTK. So we're going to start off by activating our Gem Knight Dispersion. This is going to grab you your Gem Armadillo. Then normal summon down the Armadillo, and stop me if you've seen this one before. Grab the Holocore. Holocore's effect, special summon itself, send in Gem Knight Fusion from deck to grave. Link these both off into our Phantom Quartz. Phantom Quartz effect to grab you your Dispersion. You're now set up to utilize the Brand New Fusion effect to this. So we're going to activate this by sending our Nephraim and our Quartz from deck to grave to then give us access to the Seraphonite. We're then going to be able to utilize Quartz's effect to add us back the Gem Knight Nephraim. We're going to normal summon down the Gem Knight Nephraim thanks to the additional normal summon of our Seraphonite, and we're going to grab a Gem Knight Quartz. Again, in the exact same scenario, if you want to push through a little bit more, you can activate the Quartz's hand effect. The only reason we're not utilizing the hand effect right now is because you still want that gem monster in the hand. You can utilize the Nephraim's additional effect to normal summon it, but honestly, you're kind of just asking to be interacted with, I guess. So on this one, what you're going to want to do is you're going to banish a Quartz from the grave to grab you back your Gem Knight Fusion. And then you're going to send from your hand or your side of field to fuse into another Gem Knight. So we're going to utilize your Nephraim plus your Quartz, which is going to be your Gem Knight plus your Fairy. And it's going to get you access into the Lady Rose Diamond. Again, you're still in a very, very good position because you've got all of this access to you. So what you're going to want to do here is banish another Quartz to grab you back your Gem Knight Fusion. And the reason we're doing this is because we can recycle the banish. So you want to make sure you're utilizing that banish effect as much as possible so that when you go Quartz effect, you put back more from the banish than you do from the graveyard. And that's how you're going to be able to regain as much resource. So we're going to Armadillo, again, still keeping 3 Gem Knight cards in the grave or Gem cards in the grave so you don't get hit with a Nibiru. Going to go into our Diamond Dispersion, and again, like the previous combo, you want to clear up a bit of space. So we're going to activate our Gem Knight Fusion using Lady Rose Diamond, Seraphonite, and our Quartz, and it's going to get us into our Gem Knight Lady Brilliant. Now you're going to utilize your Gem Knight Master Diamond, tributing off to get you access to Topaz, Aquamarine, and then Ruby or Prismora. Doesn't make any difference. The only one that is so important to make sure you get to the field is the Topaz. So that's the one you have to get to. Everything else is just which one you would prefer. So if you've got that additional gem card in the hand, you can utilize the Prismora. If you don't have the additional gem card in the hand, you'll go for Ruby. So then we're going to use Lady Brilliant, tribute off the Topaz, summon yourself out your Master Diamond. Master Diamond's effect to banish the Topaz from the graveyard. And now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So going up to 35 base on our Master Diamond. You can choose to recycle the Gem Fusion again if you want to, but you're not really going into anything. So this is kind of what you want to be looking for. And then you're just going to be able to go, cool, attack, 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 and burn. So you've got double attack, double burn, you've got the ability of 34 swinging in, and then of course you've got the ability of your Aquamarine and everything else that you need to. So you've got what you need to finish the game off there, and all of the combos pretty much lead to the same point, which is why the Breaker version of this deck is quite popular, because as long as you clear the field off, you're not really worrying about it. Like, you just get to attack directly, it's giving those Tenpai feelings. But the deck is really, really resilient, and like I've shown you already, that was all through one card. That's like if you've opened up one card, which we play Yu-Gi-Oh! With 5 cards in the hand starting our turn, which is absolutely crazy. So all of these one-card combos lead you to the exact same out goal, being able to push for that OTK. And with all scenarios, the first one, ironically, is probably the weakest, for the fact of the matter is that our first combo was ending on a Lady Rose Diamond plus this, and then I think it was Ruby, wasn't it? So when we're ending on something like that, not that that's bad by any means of the imagination, but when you're ending on something like that in comparison, you really are then relying that your Aquamarine has cleared off a card, your Ruby doesn't need to tribute anything because you're going to get more from attacking with these. I think we also had Quartz as well, so you technically tribute off the Quartz to make your Ruby stronger if you absolutely need to. Anyway, that's it for the dedicated combo guide. If you do have any questions, by all means, please put them in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. There are other combos, but I kind of felt that they're a little bit less consistent. So it's like, what happens if you open up Forged Burial? And it's like, well, it's a 1-of card. I want to show you what happens when you can open up a 3-of, a 3-of, and then a 2-of, which, as mentioned in the profile, I really kind of am considering bumping this up to 3, because then you've got 9 ways to get to your card, like your 1-card combo starters. And if you're going second, you increase that chance by getting that additional draw. Not to mention, if you draw into these off of the Molchami, the only card you don't ever want to draw is the Gem Knight Fusion. But then again, that's kind of where Forbidden Droplet comes into play, because then you can send it and you're still setting up everything you need to. You just don't get access to Holocore Special Summon. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.